Okay, so today I'm gonna introduce you guys what my work is for this smart window or the low E glass window which has two functions. One is the transmittance modulation and the near infrared shielding. So usually the smart window or the low E glass has only one function. Either it can control the transmittance, right? Or infrared shielding. So I'm gonna combine these two into one windows. Okay. So there's so first is the chromatic device. For the active devices, basically there are three types of it. First is the polymer dispersed liquid crystal, PDLC, and the suspended particle devices, PSD. And what we are going to focus on today is the chromatic devices, ECD. Okay. And for this chromatic, the first two usually need continuous power, and its driving force is extremely high, and also they're easy to spoil under the UV or near infrared range. Okay. However, for the chromatic device, well, they don't need the continuous power, and also its driving force is small, and yes, the function of the infrared shielding and the grayscale display. Okay. So this ECD has been widely applied to the different field, and in our research, we're going to focus on the smart window. Okay. And the structure of the chromatic devices is basically a 5 layers. First is the transparent substrate and the conducting layer, TCL, and the electrochromatic layer, and the electrolyte, and the storage layer. Okay. So in our cases, we're gonna use the PEDOT PSS incorporating the graphene as the TCL conducting layer, and the plus blue as the electrochromatic layer. Okay, and the electrolyte layer, and this fifth layer is the conducting layer and the storage layer. Okay. So in our research, we're going to compare with two different ECD. First is just what I mentioned previously, okay, the 5-layer structure, and the second one is this TCL integrate with the cesium tungsten oxide. Okay, so we're going to compare these two different structures or different components. Okay, so there's some researchers focus on in this related area, like some uses the thermochromatic passive layer incorporating with the cesium tungsten oxide, right? And the drawback of this research is that we have to use a temperature change to control. However, temperature change is difficult. It's hard to control, precisely control. Okay. Of course, the cesium tungsten oxide has the function to reduce the transmittance within the infrared range. And the researchers works on the two TCLs. I mean, they use the PEDOT PSS, the panning PSS, and it shows the transmittance change is enhanced there, like 50% of the transmittance change, okay, compared to maybe 20% change. Okay. In other researchers works on the cesium tungsten oxide solution by spray coating with different patterns. Okay, so we can see the higher amount of the cesium tungsten oxide can retard it or can block this okay, as the shielding layer for this infrared range. Okay, and also by using the ATL and tungsten oxide can enlarge the shielding area. Okay, can enlarge the shielding area. Okay, so what is our experiment? So there are two phases, what I mentioned previously. First, we have to figure out what is the optimum TCL with the lowest sheet resistance and suitable transparency. Okay, in phase 2, we have to test the optical and the electrochemical performance of these two structure with and without cesium tungsten oxide. Okay, so first we prepare the TCL by the graphene ink, PEDOT, and surfactant RPA, And by spin coating, I'm not gonna go through these details. Okay, so we can compare the different transmittance, okay, by the spin coating 1 layer, 2 layer, and 3 layer, and corresponding with the different thickness, okay. And we also evaluate their sheet resistance, right? However, obviously, the thicker TCl has the lowest shear resistance. That's for sure. Okay, that's for sure. Okay, and we work on this transmittance measurements. So with the light source, this is our sample with and without, and optical fiber and spectrometer, so on. So we observe that the transmittance, of course, for the 1 layer coating, yes, the highest transmittance. Okay. However, for this 2 layer coating, well, that's not bad, right? So it's the transmittance only reduced about this 4-5%. Okay, and for the 3 layer coating, well, the transmittance drop almost 10% compared with the 1 layer coating. Okay, so in our research, we were going to focus on the 2 layer coating. Okay, the 2 layer coating, because its transmittance, well, is quite well compared to its sheet resistance. Okay. Okay, so we work on the TCl doped with or incorporates the cesium tungsten oxide. So the first layer is what I already introduced, right? The TCl. And meanwhile, we coating the second layer, right? Incorporating with the cesium tungsten oxide as the second layer. Okay, as the second layer. And then we do the electroplating process by 3 electrode systems. So we use the TCl that we already prepared, right? The conducting layer as the working electrode, and the reference electrode is the silver chloride, and the counter electrode is the platinum sheet, right? And we fix the voltage at 0.55 volt for 100 seconds. And our electrolyte is the nitric acid, potassium nitrate, ionic nitride, and so on. Okay. So we can electroplate it, this blue, and this the TCl, and then we can combine it. So we spin coating these the silica particles, and we assemble them. Okay, so right, this is our devices. So we compare the transmittance with and without the cesium tungsten oxide. Okay, of course, the TCl with the cesium tungsten oxide at transmittance drop. Okay, right? Drop about 3 or 4%. However, its sheet resistance is dramatically reduced, almost half of it. Okay, and it's extremely low compared with the traditional ITO or FTO. And its transmittance is comparable. Okay, and then we do this called cyclic photometry CV test. So we can see the anodic peak, the current density, the TCl with cesium tungsten oxide is 0.0, it's higher. Okay, it's higher, and also its driving potential, right? It's higher, and we can compare with the area under this cyclic photometry test. So the TCl with the cesium tungsten oxide, the bigger area compared to that without. So what's that mean? That means it can store the higher charge. You know, that means the higher energy can be stored. Okay. So the characterization of the ECD, okay. So we do this kind of the test with the voltage change between the 0.5 volts to minus 0.5 volt to 1.5 volts. Okay, so we can see when this voltage is 0.5 volts, and this charge will move from the plus blue to accumulate to this TCl. or we say the storage, ionic storage layer. Okay, so you have the first layer and the diffuse layer. In this case, this glass is color state. Okay, so it's the plus blue. Okay, so its color is plus blue. And when we apply the 0.5 volts, this charge or the ion will transport to accumulate on this electrochromatic layer. Okay, that's mean the bleach state. Okay, the bleach state. Okay, so this is the charge positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, so the plus blue has the for this positive charge. So we have the higher ions accumulated as the at the storage layer. Okay. Meanwhile, when we apply the minus volts, this charge or the ion will accumulate the higher accumulation on this electrochromatic layer. And we also compare with the optical contrast. Okay, optical contrast. So the highest, the maximum optical contrast at 671 nanometer is about 22.5. That means this device is without the cesium tungsten oxide. Okay, so and then we can compare with the time, the transportation time. Okay, so you can see the video. Okay, I don't know whether it shows the video or not. Okay. So, in what is if this TCl in carbon with the cesium tungsten oxide, what's it's gonna be? So you can see the maximum optical contrast enhanced to 33.2% at 700 nanometer. Okay. Of course, we can observe its transportation time. Okay. So it's about 0.7 second and 1.7 second. Well, it's quite similar, right, to this device without the cesium tungsten oxide. Okay. So let's compare with these two. Okay, so the ECD has the optical contrast at the 22.5, and the ECD with the cesium tungsten oxide is the 33.5. Okay, and if we compare the same wavelengths, it's still higher, right? It's still higher, and our response time with and without the cesium tungsten oxide, while it's quite similar, however, it's faster response compared to other references. Okay, and we also compare with the with and without the cesium tungsten oxide. Okay, so we can see the nanometer at the 1200 is the interface. Okay, it's the interface. So in this case, it's the without cesium tungsten oxide. So this differences, transmittance differences, well, it's not so much differences. Okay, however, with this coating, with the cesium tungsten oxide, well, this differences, well, totally it has dropped. Well, the transmittance totally has dropped, right? Within this infrared range. Okay, dropped to 10 and 66%. Okay, 10 and 60%. And then we do the heat insulation test. We just has the box just covered with some the insulating layer. Okay, and we do the test. We use the halogen lamp, and we have our ECD with and without cesium tungsten oxide devices here, and we compare the temperature differences. And the T1 is the inner temperature. The distance from the devices is about 10 centimeter. Okay, so you can see the ECD without cesium tungsten oxide, and color and the bleach states. Okay, so the temperature, inner temperature is almost 28 something. Okay, 28 something, and the color state has the higher outside temperature. Okay, so and then we compare with the devices with the cesium tungsten oxide. Okay, so we can see the temperature difference is huge with the color and the bleach states. It's huge compared with that without cesium tungsten oxide, right? So we can obviously see this ECD without the cesium tungsten oxide, the temperature difference is about 4.5, and the devices with the cesium tungsten oxide is about 24.7. Okay, so our conclusion is that this TCl with the cesium tungsten oxide has the lower sheet resistance, and its transmittance, well, is comparable to TCl and the glass. Okay, and the optical contrast of the devices with the cesium tungsten oxide is much higher, right? It's much higher, and the response time between these two, wow, it's quite similar. It's quite similar. Okay, so the conclusion is that the color state of with and without cesium, the color state of the cesium tungsten oxide can block about the 77.4 near infrared at 900 nanometer. Okay, and the bleach state of the devices with the cesium tungsten oxide can block 70%, okay, of the infrared. Okay, and the result shows that the transmittance, near infrared transmittance, and the indoor temperature, showing that the cesium tungsten incorporated can decrease the overall infrared transmittance and the indoor temperature. Okay, and the presence of the cesium tungsten oxide in ECD can expand the indoor-outdoor temperature differences. Okay, between the color and bleach states from the 4.5 to almost 25% temperature difference. Okay, that's mean with the cesium tungsten oxide, the temperature difference increase almost 5 to 6 times compared to that without the cesium tungsten oxide. Okay, so today is our presentation. So if you have any question, please feel free to contact me.